here with my friend, my buddy, the one and only Josh Olszewicz. Hey, Josh.
Brian,
I don't think I've ever called you my buddy before.
I was a little
The first ever buddy.
thrown off guard there.
Yeah. You know, I was just thinking of, I still owe you a steak dinner from like 2019. And I'm not sure that's true buddy behavior.
I don't bring it up. It's better if it's on the conscience of the guilty to think about it. So, that's enough of a burden. I don't bring it up.
Every time there's like a decent change in ETH BTC, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I lost a bet about years ago with Josh, that I've not been to his neck of the woods. Your neck of the woods has changed multiple times since then in order to make good on that bet. I feel like you've earned a significant amount of interest given inflation.
I've earned a whole steakhouse at this point. Yeah. In this economy, I mean, come on.
In this economy, I mean, 8% inflation per year is a big steak. We're going to have to do like a full bone-in tomahawk, like a 32-ouncer. Anyway, yeah. I owe you, but I'm also thankful for you, thankful for the fact that we have another year of this here podcast under our belt. And we're going to make some predictions today. What do you say?
Crazy year. I remember mid-year or maybe late last year. It was not a good. The vibes were at an all-time low. It's
November 2022 was the low. I mean,
definitely a different vibe.
I told you before we went on air that I had meant to rewatch our episode from this time last year, because we do this every year, and I forgot. So I was just gonna pretend I was right. I don't remember if we called the bottom. I think we might have, but I don't remember.
My guess is I was talking about Adam and Eve at the time, but I'd have to go back and listen to be sure.
Listen, for anybody that does not question this, we called the bottom. We knew 2023 was going to be a year of up-only market behavior. And we definitely knew that there were going to be meme coins that were down 60% off their all-time highs and yet still up 90,000% off their lows. We knew that, clearly. Everybody had Solana meme coin season on their radar.
Oh, that might be the biggest surprise. Pepe was in there too, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I did expect a decent year. I did not expect dumb stuff to pump first. I find that very strange. What about you?
Yeah, that is a bit strange for sure. Let me you talk while I pour this coffee. How about that?
You pour that coffee, bonus points if you let us see it. I'm gonna plug in a couple of things here. I'm gonna look at a weekly of Bitcoin on the year. I have some drawings, but what I want to do is go to a vertical line, the rare vertical line usage, and I'm gonna go to oh boy, yeah, that was very impressive. All right, so that yellow line is basically the yearly open. You could say sources are saying that's a pretty good year right there, Josh. From this line to here,
there's so many
there are legitimately people who've been bearish that entire time.
Yeah, and are still bearish.
Still bearish. I mean, now it makes a little more sense. Like, I don't even have lines above that one at 47. Like, as a believer, which I believe I do know this is what I said. One of the things I said last year is I don't believe in all-time highs this year. That's what I said. I believe I might have even said next year, which now that we're here would kind of be depressing. Right? But, I felt like we have a year of consolidation to do.
Here's what I think is going to happen for the ETF. I think we're going to see a crazy candle on the day. It's going to be a crazy week. There's going to be a lot of volatility. 48 is like best case scenario on the top end. If we go to 50, if we go to 69, if we go to some crazy move like that, there's no way that's going to be sustained. I don't think on the week, right? So I'm expecting just a mega wick, and then we're going to spend 4 to 6 months, the entire quarter, kind of repairing that chart. So I think a lot of people are going to get trapped. You're going to see crazy margin calls on both sides of that, and it's just going to be wild. That's what I think is going to happen for the ETF first couple of weeks of the month.
That could be true. It could be true. We'll get to more predictions. I wanted to show a little bit more about what we were talking about previously, but like last year for this year. This is one where I was surprised. Generally right, but the speed of it all has been faster than expected. And I could have believed, and it still has a chance, like maybe this turns into an ascending triangle instead of like a pennant. But like maybe we don't have all-time highs for yet another year. But that I feel like the market's not expecting that right now. The market seems to be preparing for price exploration on stock indices. What do you think?
Yeah, but they've been up what, 9 weeks in a row?
Yeah, people might be a little euphoric, I guess.
I think Q1 is going to be interesting. January is going to be interesting for everybody. Legacy, us, gold, everything.
You sound bearish.
No, it's just going to be interesting. Like, can we go? Like, it's just a probabilities thing. Can we go up another 9 weeks in a row consecutively?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
It's 18. 18 weeks in a row would be very surprising.
So we'll put that as 0%. Well, how about 5 weeks? How about 2 weeks? You know,
I think we could see a couple of weeks of drawdown in the early part of the year and then consolidate. I mean, it's hard for me to, I don't care about number of things in a row on a weekly basis, you know, but trend wise, this looks good. It looks like it wants to go ahead and break out of what I was talking about of kind of the multi-year consolidation. But if it's going to stop, it's got to stop basically right now, because otherwise I feel like the passive players can take over here. And applying that back to Bitcoin, not to get too far off, is just, it would make total sense to find some local tops, consolidation ranges. Take your time. You don't have to just do it all at once. Would make total sense.
Yeah, it would. Again, this is a massive move on the year. We're through the TA targets on the weekly. Anything after this is going to be, I'll go to BTC. Anything after this is going to be news catalyst related, and then like digesting the news. So you've got a news catalyst on the approval. You got a news catalyst on when these actually list, and then you've got
all January.
And you've got just inflow watchers nonstop after that, right?
This is all January planned, right? Like January, early, like first half of January.
Yeah, so I think Jan 10, which is a Wednesday, is going to be the last day that whatever the deadline is. And if it's announced in after market, that's going to affect things as well, because it means crypto's probably going to go berserk outside of normal market hours and then get brought back down to earth during market hours. I don't know. It's going to be a wild day.
I'm trying to not care about the first month of post ETF price action. Is that a reasonable thing?
I think that's reasonable. I think most people, 99% of people, should not trade this whatsoever. Okay, but no one's going to listen to me. And
I am. I just said I was. My general belief is that it's bullish, and I'm going to treat it that way.
Yeah.
And the oscillations of how do people sell the news or sell the people selling the news or whatever, like, I don't care.
I agree 10,000%. Doesn't matter. It's inflows. That's all we really care about.
Inflows good.
It's access and it's inflows and it's sales armies changing hearts and minds of capital allocators, institutional allocators.
Speaking of capital allocators, I think I know Michael Saylor's goal for 2024, and it's to finally hit 1% of all Bitcoin. I mean, he's close.
Yeah, that whole thing scares me, just like GBTC.
It's getting more concerning. He's got what, 185,000 or something like that Bitcoin, so he needs another 25,000 Bitcoin to get there.
We've said this a few times, but just look at all the instances where whales purchase something and it never ends well. It always ends poorly.
Listen, I'm just going to assume that Michael Saylor is a reasonable man and will hit 1% of all Bitcoin and will stop. And we'll just live a happy life.
It feels great on the way up, but when when your margin call comes calling and you've got to forcibly sell some of that for whatever reason, it doesn't feel so good.
For what it's worth, I don't think he's a reasonable man, but I do hope that he stops at 1%. Now, I'm all for, hey, 1% of Bitcoin. You stop exactly at 210,000 Bitcoin your company holds. That's amazing. I think it makes sense to stop there and then start using cash and profitability, or maybe he earns money from the Bitcoin that he has, like using that to pay down your debt, and you're setting yourself up for long-term success rather than can't believe he would just keep leveraging, putting all this Bitcoin at risk, right?
Well, when you think Bitcoin has another 10x from here, whatever he thinks, then that you're just going to keep buying, right?
I don't want that to happen. I think that would be bearish. We got a couple questions about Sailor and otherwise, but one just from back in a bit. What platform do you use for charting on and off stream? We both use TradingView a lot. It's very good.
I don't think there's anything else worth even talking about other than TradingView.
There's some that I really like.
There's some that have come and gone throughout the years, but nothing has the legacy components and the crypto components, and just like all the random data you can pull through TradingView. Super valuable.
TradingView is as good as it gets in terms of actually charting stuff. Trend Spider, some folks that I met. If you're looking for an alternative, if you hate TradingView, I like Trend Spider. And then what's the Ukrainian guys with the K?
I have no idea.
It's a charting software that's like a Bloomberg alternative that's really good.
Oh, Kaiko. They're not Ukrainian.
Koyfin.
Oh, sure. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, Koyfin, Koyfin, has some of the best like kind of fundamental comparative charts that you can use. A lot of stock stuff, sector stuff. It's kind of like a poor man's Bloomberg that's really good, and then YCharts is really good for fundamental type stuff too. But yeah, for pure charting, TradingView. As Liam says, Dex Screener for your degenerative needs.
Yeah, I mean, you can go crypto native, you can go legacy native. I just think TradingView has the best blend of everything. Especially as more people, by the way, I've noticed are trading in both. They've got a foot in both worlds now because they've got like a Roth IRA that they're trading or some self-directed whatever.
Chaz, we will get to coin. I like that. Let's keep doing a little year in review stuff though. GBTC, great year for the closing discount trade. That's what your orange chart is there, right?
It is. Great year
can you push it all the way to the left so that?
How about that? There we go.
Perfect. Thank you. So the discount on GBTC went all the way to like 44%, and now it's to 9 or something.
That is correct. Almost to 50, and then ETH got to 60 on the discount.
Dude, ETH has been a great trade, like far better than ETH itself, just because it pushed this. I mean, you got an extra 50% right here.
Yeah, but it took winning a court case, which was super helpful in March. I believe that's when that was, and it took the BlackRock ETF stuff. That's really when this started to close, for sure.
Thank you, BlackRock. If
I
you've
think
done
it
nothing
was
else for me.
I think it was on the day, June 14th. I think that was the day, right? That they came out.
Nice.
So that's ultimately what closed this.
Your prediction a year from now, I mean, these are both going to be ETFs, I guess. So the premium discount stuff is going to basically go away because you'll have cash redemptions of these assets. What's this?
Well, that's
a thing, right?
Well, yes, but you assume we're going to get an ETH ETF next year.
Of course we are.
Is that where we're going with this?
Do you want 2 tomahawk steaks?
I think it's possible. I don't think it's guaranteed, but I do think it's possible for sure. I'd have to look at the BlackRock deadline.
Do you want 2 tomahawks? That's what I want to know. Not
I'd
willing
have
to
to.
make that bet, are you?
No, I'd have to double check when the ETF. When's the deadline for BlackRock? Because they did send an application for a spot ETH product.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they haven't been. They've lost like one application out of 600 historically. So
yeah, I don't need no dates. I just throwing it out there. I'm throwing my tomahawk bet on the table. You can pick it up. You can let it lie.
I'll let it lie until I know the dates, because the dates are important. The dates matter a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, these discounts closed a lot, and that's good for a lot of people who are holding GBTC for a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't talked since Barry stepped down, but
Well, it looked like a condition to me. What do you think?
I agree 100%. He did not do that willingly. He did that because they told him he had to
Yeah.
as part of the deal. I don't think he did that on his own volition. And look, you do shenanigans behind the scenes and you pay the consequences. And that's, I think, a fair price to pay for a conversion on the product, GBTC, and everything else, right? This isn't just about GBTC for them. This is about all their other nonsense that they have. One sleeper trade for next year. You ready for this?
What's that? I'm ready. Feel it.
Um,
Zcash.
No.
Okay, I'm just trying to.
Sadly, the privacy coins are all getting delisted in Asia, in Binance, OKEx. I don't know how Kraken is holding out and
Oh,
keeping.
you were talking about Barry. I think Doppel is right. Ethereum Classic.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm going with this. So
Yeah.
ETCG is the ticker. You shouldn't follow me on this. You shouldn't take this. Is not trading advice. I need to be crystal clear. Okay, but it is the last product with a discount. Okay, ETC has no reason to exist. ETC exists because of Barry. Full stop.
Yeah.
It has a 30% discount. The ETC spot chart looks incredibly bullish to me, just based on the cloud.
This makes me sick. I just want to say.
I don't think I've ever said that I'm this bullish on this thing. It is absolutely.
Who is bidding this?
Well, thanks to Doppel, the Watson over there snuffed out the Koreans. Apparently, love trading this. So
of course they do.
As long as it's if ETH has a run, and if coins that were minted 5 seconds ago have a run, I just like the TA. That's it. This is even the wrong cloud. Here's the crypto.
Is this
cloud.
like maybe some kind of minor trade? You know, like
I don't know what it is. All I'm saying, look, the chart looks good on spot. ETCG is a thing. Don't follow me on this, but it's a sleeper trade for next year.
I'm market buying right now.
It's a sleeper trade for next year.
I'm going to market buy through my IRA for the Grayscale product. How about that?
If anything, it's just something interesting to watch. ETCG looks the same to me, just as bullish on the cloud. But
okay.
Yeah,
I officially hate this trade, but therefore I feel like that gives me the most reason to follow you, as I hate it so much.
It's just so dumb. Like,
yeah,
ETC is not getting an ETF. Okay, let's be clear. Anyway,
are you sure about that?
I'm not super sure.
Don't you set some kind of like precedence? It's not like you just get to king make isn't that why they can list all these random like inverse Kramer ETFs and stuff? Is because you really just can't do anything about it once you set that precedent.
I'll agree with that, but the other part of this is, who's going to go out there and sell it? Who wants to go out there and sell a Solana ETF, a Link ETF?
Dude, Solana ETF would bang.
I think it would be
and
easier.
Also, who would want to sell it is Grayscale, no doubt.
Of course.
Not to mention the Winklevi. I mean, the Winklevi will sell anything. I mean, if you get fees on it, why not?
As somebody who's sort of been there, done that, it is easy to craft a story, a narrative. You have the data for Bitcoin. ETH, you also have stuff to talk about. You go down this list, it is difficult. to have that discussion with a straight face.
Giovanni Pickle's trying to show me a link to CoinDesk, and I can't click it in the chat app. It just wants me to show it on stream if I do that. So if you telegram it to me, I'll look at what you're doing. I don't know if this is breaking news or anything, or if he's just bringing up some random old headline. Okay, so here we are in a great place talking Ethereum Classic and Litecoin ETFs and Bitcoin Cash while we're at
nobody said Litecoin ETF.
Well, the chat did.
I want those Zcash bag holders to not get excited about a Zcash ETF. That's just not going to happen. Clip it. That's not going to happen.
Dude, I would love nothing more than finally be the guy who wins on Zcash. Like, that's a pure clout trade. There's no good reason to do it unless you just want to be the one who's finally the outperformer of as a Zcash buyer. I would love to be that guy. Somebody wants to give me some alpha to pick up.
Well, the other question relative to Grayscale stuff, like, is Bitwise going to convert their product to a spot ETF, which is a basket, also has a discount still. There's a DeFi basket product that Grayscale has. What's going to go on with that? Are they going to try to convert that into something? And then, so that's just half the battle. That's like, we're so focused on the CTF conversion because it's never happened, but the rest of it is, again, selling the product and then getting inflows. I think that is extremely difficult. So yeah, we can get an ETF on Zcash and it can get approved and whatever else, but good luck getting inflows for that, you know?
Yeah, nobody wants to buy that.
No. So that's the other part of this. That's part of the sales story and the data and whatever else.
I don't disagree with that. The ETF listings will give a temporary pump, and then the ETF delistings will be an interesting part.
Yeah, I think the flows will disappoint on anything down this list. You know, the further down you go. I think there's an interesting argument for like some ecosystem baskets of like ETH stuff, DeFi stuff, whatever. Like there's a thing you could weave together there, but some of these others as a single ETF, I'm not so sure. It'll get converted, but
that's what's going to be exciting is the like baskets. I think the baskets of spot driven ETFs will be really good. You know, you'll have these like top 10 baskets and DeFu baskets. And I mean, we're going to have some great ETF tickers. I can't wait. I mean, just imagine imagine how upset Gary's going to be. Like, I warned you about this. Look at these dangerous products.
Well, this is just GDLC. This is probably where we're headed, though. We're headed for a GDLC type product that's market cap weighted, something that's equal weighted, that has crap like this in it.
Love it.
The other issue with this list, though, is
I'd buy this right now. I like this basket. Not gonna lie, it's got just the right amount of left curve and right curve.
The issue with this stuff, though, is some of this is on the SEC shit list still, so they're going to have to clear that up first before that gets approved.
Jiminy Crypto in the chat said we need the 3 Arrows ETF. It's like, oh my gosh. I can just imagine how dumb like if these are really popular, they'll come up with all kinds of stuff. Like it's just a fee game for the issuers.
It is, but at some point you need flows. Like you need,
of course,
if the fees are reliant on actually having
I'm in on this too. AUM. Holler at me with this DeFu basket.
Like, I think this is dumb, but it's a viable product, you know? Like if you want exposure to DeFi, sure. Why not? Let's add some other stuff in this too. And call it a day. Doesn't look bad as an idea for a product, for sure. So I think they're going to try to convert stuff like that. Anyway, that's enough Grayscale discussion. Something to watch for in 2024, you know, announcements like, oh, we're trying to convert this, that, and the other thing or whatever. Yeah. Some of these, I don't know what the discount is on GDLC or whatever this is. DefX, whatever the ticker is.
You know, I think the timing on this is that we can expect 2025 is the ETF bonanza year. Like you need a little time for all the just individual spot ones. But if you see success from those, which I think you will, Then you'll have the ETF bonanza of all the dumb stuff start listing in 2025, and then we'll hit the top somewhere. And then
That would make sense. I like that. The other question, last question. Do you have to list these individually before the basket?
yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's just a process. You
I
know,
don't know.
I feel like it's a process. I feel like we'll get my thought is we'll probably get Bitcoin, ETH, and then something else. Probably freaking XRP or something because they lost the case. Some individual ETFs. I think you just puked a little bit on your sweatshirt, and then get some baskets in 2025.
That's fair. I just think it's very hard to sell. Like people are going to get so hyped up on the other ETFs. Those are buy the rumor, sell the news to be, because those are not going to see inflows unless rates are back to zero.
Yeah. I'm interrupting parts of our conversation to answer questions from loyal listeners, just as I see them. So, Luangolski, what brand chair do you have? You're building a brand new office, and it looks comfortable. I do like this chair. It's a steel case. Don't remember which one.
You're just shouting out sponsors who aren't even sponsors. You're like the worst
just my chair.
influencer.
Listen, it's just my chair. Look at that. It's got a nice headrest. I can just take a little snoozer right here.
They don't pay you
while you
anything.
talk about
You
your
don't say their
Ethereum
name
classic
on air.
trade. Just take a nap. Bruce in the chat says DPIN is an interesting theme for 2024. I made up that part about theme for 2024. There's just creating good content here off a comment. Do you know what DPIN is, Josh?
Yeah, all that stuff makes me cringe. I don't. It's like, go ahead. You explain it.
Very rude. I'm going to read it from someone smarter than me. It's kind of like Internet of Things, but it's decentralized physical infrastructure network. So it's like Internet of Things for crypto. HNT is a coin. It's like the mobile coin. I'm just going to try to pull up something.
Let me take the people back. I sat through the EOS pitch for the coin. Brandon Bloomer himself. Brandon. He himself gave the pitch. I sat through it twice. All of this stuff sounds the same to me. That doesn't mean it will work this time. Didn't work last time. Whatever. I just get, my spidey senses are tingling when I hear stuff like that. Admittedly, Helium has a network, has physical infrastructure.
This is literally their product right here. I have it.
I get it, but I have an aversion towards.
Now they mailed this to me for free. It's not like I paid for this.
Here we go. Shouting out people.
No, this is not an endorsement. I'm just saying.
Get out your bonk phone while we're at it.
My bonk phone is right over here. I can get that for you too. Hey, that $50,000 phone clip is looking pretty good.
Is it? Because I'm pretty sure bonk is down significantly.
Yeah, but there's already been like $5,000 worth of airdrops for the early enjoyers.
Yeah, you realize those are variable in price, right? Like they go down.
Not if you sell them.
Bonk is down. Hold on, we gotta. For the
bonk
record,
is down like 50% off the top. I told that $10 million guy you got to sell, and
56% off the top.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But yeah, I'm just saying these are real products. That's a real deal. That's cool. Good for you, Helium. Put this in your advertisement. Decentralized, fun stuff is cool.
I think it's hilarious. The Helium journey was they had their own network. It failed, essentially. Blockchain side of things. Mm-hmm. They migrated to Solana. Everyone in Helium at the time hated the idea for the most part. And now look at where, it's like the best happening blockchain you could be on, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how that all worked out.
Were they a Tangle? Remember Tangles?
IOTA.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's some concept about basically an impossible to index blockchain, but it goes fast. IOTA was the one. It was the Internet of Things blockchain. IOTA.
It's not desync. I forget what
I thought it was a Tangle.
DAG.
A DAG.
A something graph or something. Yeah, it's god awful.
Helium had something along those lines, I think, at least tried to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think real world assets on chain, DePIN, decentralized, whatever that is on chain. I think there's some cool ideas there. I think this is the type of stuff where you find innovation amidst lots and lots of stupidity.
You have to give a reason for people to buy the coin.
Sure.
It's easier to do that on speculation and gambling, which is clearly a great use case for crypto. But long term, people need a reason to buy something. And physical infrastructure or credits to a network is one way to do that. Especially if the cellular network actually works, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't confirm that on this phone. I haven't. I was a boomer and went and got a Verizon plan for my soul phone. Solana, got to be the story of the year, right? $8 to 100 and what did it top at so far? $128. 8 to 128. Good on you. Good on you, Solana folks. That's pretty amazing. And honestly, a ton of that move from 24 to 128 just since October.
It is quite the move. A little early on the TA side of things as far as how fast this moved up. It's Bitcoin ETF. Oh, the ETF stuff helped everybody, right? It helped the alts most of all. It helped the miners on the Bitcoin side. It helped everything, you know. It's either Sol's the story of the year or ETH doing kind of nothing is the story of the year. ETH is still up 100% ish on the year, right? But it just doesn't feel like it. It feels like ETH is stuck in the mud, you know.
I mean, relative to whatever percentage this is, 10. You know, it's basically 10x on Solana, but it's kind of a 5x in meat of the trend mode, which is pretty incredible. So Solana has won the year. Solana gets the Coin of the Year award for 2023. Congratulations. Solana Eco is thriving. The whole developers thing that we talked about through the bear market seems to really be playing out. We mentioned how this.
Hold on. Is it playing out, or is it just people? You know, it's ICO mania on Solana. That's what it is.
Well, there's also real stuff, and that's what.
Sure, but that's not what's really going on. Let's be honest.
Well, you need the dumb stuff to feed the real stuff. You know, it's like the plankton. It's coin plankton going to get gobbled up by the Uniswaps of Solana. You know, there's what is it, Jupiter, and some other stuff that's like real deal.
Radium.
You know, the bones of the Solana. Oh no, my cell phone is dead. I couldn't let it. All right, I got to charge. But yeah, like the real stuff is got to rise from the ashes. Fire Dancer, Tensor, Jito, Jupiter. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mike. But from a price perspective, Solana, we talked about, you know, that 25 to 50 back in this old range, that it might happen quickly. 3 weeks was a little less than I anticipated to go through that range and then double it again. But that's how crypto does. It just does. It consolidated at that 77 area that I had highlighted, have had on my chart for ages. Like if you go to the daily, you know, it consolidated there for what, 6 days, and then just slammed through it and went another, whatever, 30-40%. That's the measure of a fantastic trend. You have consolidation up. We'll see if they can continue it. But I mean, great job, Soul Boys, so Manlets. What else? I don't remember what they're called. Great job.
I think it's going to be tough to hold the price up here. I think it's going to be tough for the meme coin stuff to keep going.
I don't think it's the meme coins that's going to provide the leverage to stay here.
That's fair, but I'm just saying, like, the meme coin sector, I think that's going to be tough to keep it going.
Josh, I'm expecting big rotations in January. I'm very excited.
Because of taxes, or just period? Because of how much we're up on the year?
That's what we do, and what we've seen is this hasn't been an umbrella move, right? You know, like we talk about the big everything floats up together. That's not really what this year has been. We've had the ball of money start to form, and it formed on Solana, but
Well, it's not external money, right? We haven't had that. We've had stablecoin prints, but not that much. We've had inflows,
I know, but
not
you
that
have
much.
money that's being formed into the ball of money that's going to roll around a little bit here, and I think we're going to see some new evidence of that in January. The seasonality component that, yeah, I think you will. I mean, I'm one of them. Like, there's some stuff that I might rotate into that I'm not touching until January 1st. You know, I don't need long-term capital gains. I just need to not pay short-term capital gains for another year.
Yeah, I should map out the seasonality for Solana. I think it looks like Q1, Q3.
Yeah, I don't know, and it doesn't have to be Sol specific, but I'm just saying, yeah, the rotators are going to come out. I'm going to have to let down the real Findos, whatever your name is. Big rotations into dog with hat. My guess. Hey, you can blame somebody else. They may have a short-term, thing. I think largely the rotations are out of animal coins. I think animal coin and meme money is going to roll into some other things.
Yeah, the meme UBI stuff, can't really last forever.
Yeah, that's my thought.
What's your year end?
Out of other animal coins into my animal coin. I'm hopeful that that's what happens. At least it's not a guarantee. I'm not, trying to be a genius here.
I hope they all go to zero, but I'm a Scrooge Grinch guy, so
yeah.
I'll let it all burn. Let it all burn.
Yeah.
What's your year-end Solana target for 2024?
2024?
Yeah.
Definitely above 100. I don't think it's going to retrace that, but I don't think Solana is going to go into massive price exploration next year. I could imagine Solana, along with Bitcoin, kind of consolidating, hammering at the highs next, like November, and we have a upside resolution in crypto with the election. That's kind of my thesis for next year, is that we work our way, have some volatility, Q1, whatever, downside. You always got to have a wick. But my general thesis is that we are pressing against all-time highs across the board in crypto around the time of the American election. I think that's going to be a big deal this year in terms of what markets are looking at. And I think that we might start getting price exploration for Bitcoin and others in Q4 of 2024.
Okay.
So I'll say 200 for Solana year-end target. I know that's very disappointing for you manlets who were expecting to grow more than 2x next year.
I mean, look, it's up 900% on a year.
I know.
Again, this is back to the opener. Like, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to people in general. How many more weeks do you think the S&P is going to go up? Now, this is back to the same probabilities game. Do you think Sol could have another 500% year? What's that chance? How about a 250%? How about a 50%, right? Like, I think it's going to be in that wheelhouse. I think it's up the most this year because it was down the most last year, right? So it's going to be harder to push this higher next year, for sure. 100% agree with you there. Doesn't mean it can't have a run. Doesn't mean it's not going to pull back to 25 and then run back to 100. I think all that's on the table. I think that'd be a glorious, glorious trade. Again, like, just run it back. If everybody's honest with themselves, as a trader, that's what you want. As an investor, you're staking, you want this to go up forever. I get it, but
yeah. As a trader, the big trade, like the grindy type trade from 100 to 200 or 250 or whatever the all-time high was, I mean, that's interesting. But what I think would be the most fun is, like, get out of this cloud, like, do something, give yourself a real big red candle to buy, and I think we'll see 30 to 50% volatility in Solana, and that could make for a great year for trading Solana. And then when you stop trading Solana is when it goes into price exploration and you play it from 250 to 1,000. That's a fun game. 250 to 1,000. Just buy price exploration and stop thinking so much about it.
Yeah, that's the crazy part with all this stuff. This is just mean reversion stuff. This isn't theoretically,
that's what
not
makes
even
it
theoretically,
awesome.
but realistically, this is not a bull market. This is just mean reversion.
No, it is. No.
It's
You
not.
can
It's
be in a
not.
bull market without price exploration.
All we're doing is recovering 2022.
Now, I love it when people think we're not in a bull market because we're not in price exploration. That's because you've already had an amazing time and it's not even to all-time highs yet, like prior all-time highs, because then people are like, well, maybe I should get back into this crypto thing when Bitcoin's at 70,000. That's great. We want that because we need them to be hopeful to hold until 250 or 500,000 or whatever our next big target is. Before we get to ETH,
yeah, go ahead.
Before we get to ETH, another top performer on your list was Coin. And then also while you're pulling that up, I think this person's name is Jamie. It's Amy. I don't know. What is both of your I wish I would have for 2023? Anything that you were gonna ape into that you didn't, which would have brought you huge returns. I mean, Solana was my biggest like not enough type trade. Like a lot of Solana's move made sense to me. I almost bought it sub 10, but I was kind of lured in by the $3 magnet. Like if you have Sam's old comments as a retrace level, didn't get to that. So yeah, obviously in hindsight, I would have liked to have bought more of the top performer. How about that?
Yeah, so I have or still hold all this stuff: Coin, Solana, GBTC, right? I think my issue was letting go. I had a Solana leverage position from 25 that I let go at like 34. That's my biggest oops of the year.
Good trade, man.
For sure.
Well,
So my biggest leak in trading is like not reevaluating and re-entering the position. Hands down. When I'm done with a leverage trade, like I forget about it. I don't think about that chart. I don't think to re-enter. So that's my biggest issue.
The weak hands police were just going by my office. I don't know if you could hear them.
It wasn't even. It was just that was the TA target at the time, and it went way higher. We called it out on the stream on Twitter.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult things to do in any trading is like, what do you expect it to do? And Coin was kind of the same way. Like we've been looking at this, talking about being bullish, talking about being happy to own Coin for a while, but I probably underestimated its ability to go from 100 to 185 in 4 weeks. That's a fast mover for a stock.
Yeah, this follows. I can't bring it up enough. The S&P and the Nasdaq, those are up 8 weeks in a row, 9 weeks in a row. Clearly, that's influenced crypto. Clearly, the down 9 weeks in a row in DXY has influenced crypto.
Yeah.
All that's acted as like just additional tailwinds for us.
Yep. Rates down. We don't have to get into macro today. I don't think we have time, but rates down significantly. I think the 30 years at like 3.9, topped at like 5.2, something like that. I mean, that's a huge deal. Dixie down. We talk about this all the time. Great move on Coin. Really some high beta moves.
People are calling me cabbage hands. Come on, I have spot Solana. Calm down. Okay.
Yeah, it's just talking about a leverage trade.
I did sell on my AVAX at like 48, so good on you for that. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, some of these moved and they moved hard, and that's great. That's fun. Makes for good trading. But it's one of the hardest things to do in crypto is to understand just how aggressive the market will actually be versus what you expected, versus what you hoped for. And it takes a while to get used to that. And then by the time you get used to it, you should be getting unused to it.
Well, I think the easy trades for the most part are done. The mean reversion expectation trades, the edge to edge on the weekly, whatever you want to think about that as, those are pretty much done across the board on the big stuff. The next step is going to be ugly and rough and choppy, and like I'm not expecting continuation next year just at the start. I think 2024 is the year to buy the dip for sure. That's
Mhm.
the year to buy the dip.
I like that. In 2024, we're going to get a 30% on Bitcoin, 50, 60% on altcoins type of move at some point. We need to buy that dip. That's the dip we need to have some reserves, to the old dry powder type of comment, and buy that dip. Bitcoin down 30%, buy it in 2024. That's going to be a good buy. All right. We got asked about crypto miners. My thoughts on that are similar to coin. Like, it's kind of providing stock level leverage on Bitcoin is what it really looks like. Can you walk us through ETH? And then also let's talk about Bitcoin targets before the 2024, 2023 ETH in review, 2024 ETH and BTC, and then we're going to call it a day.
Sure. Is ETH in a bull market?
Technically, yeah, I think so. It's above the 200-day moving average. That's my definition of the bull market.
That's fair. It's above the cloud as well. Yeah.
It's just in a bull market unto its own. On a relative basis, it's not what you want to own in crypto.
That's fair. I think because it's kind of underperformed, it's underperformed Bitcoin this year, which is saying something. You know, if you just want to compare apples to apples, that's the ETH BTC chart. But anyway, I still like 31 for ETH ish. I think when the ETH selling stops on the back to this whales conversation, these themes again, the whales that went bankrupt, aka Celsius, aka FTX, whoever else collecting all this stuff, not your keys, not your coins. Another theme. Once all that selling is over, I think ETH has a much better chance. Now that may be after the 30% pullback broadly, but I still like 28. I like 31. I think that's very much on the table for next year for sure.
Yeah, I remain very bullish on Ethereum.
Do you think Sol ETH has topped? I mean, that's the real question a lot of people are asking.
I guess I just don't care that much, but
that's the wrong
I don't
answer.
think Sol ETH is an easy trade if you're bullish on it. Like, I don't think it's an easy trade anymore.
I think the logical conclusion I can make from this chart is we're probably at a natural resistance point, and it's going to be tougher for Solana to keep going.
Yeah.
I think Solana is going to need something to keep people in the game that isn't just meme coins. Hate me all you want. The TVL isn't there. The infrastructure isn't quite there. It's getting there, but it's not there yet.
Can I make my 2024 Ethereum prediction?
Go for it.
I think Ethereum will hit 4K this year in 2024.
At any point? You don't think that's a year-end target?
Just at any point. I think Ethereum, again, I don't think Ethereum's going to make an all-time high or sustain an all-time high. If it does, it's like a little spike and then back below. But yeah, 4K, 4,400, something like that, equal high. And I really think we're going to consolidate and be ready to like turbo in the new year. I just think people might get out over their skis in terms of their expectations for 2024 when 2025 makes more sense to be the year.
That's fair. I like the mean reversion on this pitchfork for ETH, and that's all-time high. I don't know if that's 2024 or 2025, but
yeah.
It's not dead yet, you know.
Yep.
I think ETH BTC is going to get absolutely crushed. I think hopes and dreams are going to get crushed. People are still way too bullish on ETH BTC. And
I think ETH BTC walks right up through that twist in the cloud you see there. How about them apples?
I think you're going to see some bearishness on this chart relative to the flows in the ETF.
It's going to walk right up through that twist. What's that, 0.067?
Yeah.
Right up through it.
I can't get bullish on an M top at support.
In 2 weeks, the Bitcoin ETF will be live, and ETH BTC will be turbo pumping.
All right, let's see it. I don't know. I just year end. I don't think this looks pretty for ETH BTC.
Year-end target for Bitcoin. What do you got?
Year end target for Bitcoin.
Are you believe it can go to price expiration, or you think it'll stop before 70K? What did it actually get to before 70?
I think it was 69, right?
69.
I think we can hit all-time highs next year for sure. I don't know what the year end is going to be. It kind of depends on like the recession stuff, the election stuff.
I find it highly unlikely that Bitcoin has a weekly candle
close above all-time high.
But I think we press all-time highs.
What helps the all-time high argument for me is S&P's at all-time high, Q's are all-time high, gold's at all-time high, XYZ's at all-time high.
I have underestimated crypto bull markets before, where it's like, I think this is going to happen in the year, and it happens in January. Like sometimes the seasonality makes you look either dumb or smart really, really quickly, and then the kind of slowdown comes. Like I've become a big believer in the seasonality that you've talked about over the years, but like I think April and tax season is a big deal. I think elections are a big deal. I think December January shift of annual momentum is a big deal, and we've seen it in the charts. And I think those will be all big days this time too, and they'll affect whole quarters. But yeah, I think Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will struggle to have true price expiration this in 2024, but I think we'll be real close.
Doppel says we need a new by July meme. I said 333K by July.
Oh gosh.
Like, that's 2025. But
okay, in 2025.
If I don't put a year on it, then it gives me a little more wiggle room,
That's basically like, I believe it's going to go to that price at some point in the future.
That's the next, that's the 10x from wherever.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say for today is this to me is going to be the single most important thing to watch next year, which is
digital asset fund flows.
This is just one report.
ETF flows.
This is global ETF, ETN, ETP, whatever it is, anything crypto related. This is going to be huge for next year. Specifically, the differential between like all of this stuff, right? Like Solana, look at the year-to-date flows. Solana relative to ETH, 10x, right? Look at the flows Bitcoin relative to the rest of the group. It's a joke, right? But that's the thing to watch next year is what do the flows look like on a quarter-to-quarter, month-to-month basis? Do we see continuous flows? Are people like TWAPing in, like I think you've talked about? Is it just like a one and done rush on the day? Do we see global participation, which this is an older report, but on the last one from him, there was global uptick in inflows. So this is the new like Tether.
Can you tell us how to get here, Josh?
Yeah, it's either James Butterfill on Twitter or CoinShares, the blog.
Cool.
They track all this. If you've got a Bloomberg terminal, you can track this as well. But yeah, he does this every
we might have a listener with that. I'm going to be too lazy to put this in any show notes. So CoinShares blog or James Butterfill, which is a great name.
Great name.
All right, there you have it. Josh thinks a chance of price expiration. I think the all-time highs are our primary ceiling across what I'm going to declare the big three. The big three of 2024 to me are Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. I think we're going to have new layer ones. Layer 2 trades got a little momentum. I think they'll largely just replace the ones that are less sexy, like the ones that don't have as much traction. I think you'll see a lot of rotation on that kind of stuff. I think Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana's trying to make a case for being a major. I like that battle. I like to see it. Want to see more of it. And then we'll have a lot of new coin inflation.
The last thing I'll say, the all-time high previously for after halving is like 200 days plus after halving. So it's not like going to be an instant.
I think we're going to
We're going to be talking about all-time high like towards Q4.
Election 2024 is going to be so depressing for America and really fun for a crypto trader. That's my thesis.
I agree.
All right. Thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate you for joining us in 2023. We'll catch you in the new year.
Have a safe, fun, and happy New Year's Eve.
That's right. See you later. Oh, and don't forget to follow Josh at Carpe Noctem on all the things, and me at Ledger Status if you care about that. See you. Bye.
Don't forget our sponsors.
Brought to you by Whale Calls.
Yeah, shout out Nomad. The merch.
Good merch.
In a house of cards, I feel the breeze. Wound so tight, I can barely breathe. Oh, the chains